I thought the vibe was very similar. I mean, I wouldn't say it was quite as hyped because obviously the part that had changed was the Kings were here. You know, certainly the Sacramento fans knew they had a major league sports franchise, so that much, you know. So there's the sameness there, but I think the enthusiasm for the team, or the hopes of having a good team, and the enthusiasm for the game. I think by that time, the fans were a lot more knowledgeable NBA fans. The game itself was a terrible letdown. Seattle came in and just slapped us around, and they were a lot better than us. But you know, I know we'd made a couple of trades. I always remember before the year where we traded Reggie Theus and Otis Thorpe, probably our two best offensive players, and replaced them with nobody, which generally don't work very well. The arena obviously was, at that time, was you know, one of the better arenas in the league. We went from a totally too small, not NBA caliber arena to an arena at that time that you know, there are probably 8 or 10 arenas that you would put ahead of, which was Arco 2 at that time. But that's about it. The sight lines were basketball sight lines. In other words, so many buildings are built with what I call hockey sight lines. So the end zones are not really good for basketball. But in both of King's buildings that Greg Lucanville, in effect, built, they had great sight lines for basketball. They were built for basketball. And even though it was much bigger, you know, the noise level and the atmosphere really didn't change much. You still had the small building atmosphere in a much bigger building, and I thought that was really, really unique. Of course, a lot of wood on the floors and things like that, and the fans would stomp, and they were still doing the wave at that time, which I thought was neat.